Alright guys, Vectra 1.3.3 beta is out and it's really a huge change all around. There are so many changes that it's like hard to get into one video. I will show you a little bit more about the Mutate system because it's one of the flagship procedural systems of Vectra, and the new auto send mode, and also the reworked DNA FLUX live mode. So let's get it started. I will show you an example sound. So what does Mutate do? Mutate is the ability of Vectra to take any waveform and then apply mutation to it and inject basically sonic principles into it. And we have quite a lot of them that now finally work exactly as I always intended them to be. So like you are morphing the source material with our procedural algorithms, and then you can like introduce completely new sound. And there is a new auto mode, as I said, which applies those dynamically. So what I can do is I can play the sound. And effectively change it while I'm playing. So this is still the offline mutation, not DNA FLUX. I can quickly show you DNA FLUX with the same algorithm. Genesis recomp. But what I have to do first is like go back here, also like deactivate auto. And it's all deterministic now. So that means that we can always go back simply like that. Why did I go back with the amount to 0? Is because I effectively took this simple basic wavetable and I injected this algorithm inside, and you can see it becomes a new wavetable. So from a simple shape, we are going to something that is injected with Genesis recomp. So if I'm using DNA FLUX, then DNA FLUX would be additive on top of that. The same algorithm on top of that. So everything would be like really intense. That can be wanted, but we don't want it at the moment. So what we do is deactivate DNA FLUX and go here and then manually set it back since I deactivated auto. Then go back to DNA FLUX and now can listen to it with DNA FLUX. So the difference is, first of all, I need to be careful with the macro because it has a macro attached to it, is that this one is modulatable for now, and the auto mode of offline mutate is not modulatable. The fascinating thing is that it works so efficiently and so fast that when you're playing it, I'm talking about the offline mode, then you can literally record that while you are doing that. You can like live tweak that parameter. You cannot modulate it yet. The amount, basically, of mutation. And it gets flawlessly injected on the go. The system is so efficient and so elegant that it does all this wavetable swap in our procedural system just on the fly. Those are things which are exclusively worldwide available in Vectra. The system has now been refined, like all the other systems, to such a degree that right now the outcome is becoming more and more spectacular. Those systems, for example, they were like partially polished, but now they are polished and this auto feature is added that is just changing the game. So like in the Vectra Forge, we also have last poke send and last edit send, which was a game changer. And then I said like, why do I not like adapt the other offline mutation system as well for that? And outcome is fantastic. So you could hear the difference. I actually connected it to macro 7, and I connected the keyboard to macro 7. Now, as you can see, we can select that here. We can like attach it to any macro. And macro 7 is actually controlling DNA flux 1. So he's controlling the intensity of DNA flux. It sounds a little bit different because one is like basically live swap mutation, and the other is like an offline mutation process where you're literally exchanging on the fly and constantly mutating the wavetable. The other one takes two concepts and you can mix them live. So they both have applications, just we are looking at it right now. Both the same algorithms in the two different modes, because all modes are available in DNA flux and in live mutate mode. I'm sorry guys, that probably like for most people is like, what the fuck is the guy talking about, DNA flux and so forth. Those are like, yeah, the different modes. I tried to really explain it to the best of my ability. The best is to experience it. Check it out on audionerds.net/Vectra. You can learn more about also the different versions. And we have intense news also for the distribution. I already hinted at it in my last videos. So soon everybody who wants to try out Vectra can do that. So yeah, this is auto mutate. I will do another more, you know, purposeful or more deep video about mutation. Because the spectacular thing with mutation is that, okay, right now, what did we use? We used the most boring basic shape wavetable of Vectra. So, like, simply the most simple base form that you can get. But if we inject it, right, like, then we can actually, what am I doing? Then we can create interesting wavetables even out of thin air. Or let's say like we want to add spectral FM, then also that's way too much. So, for example, this was a mutation. It's literally taking the algorithms and injecting it and creating a new wavetable in such a dramatic speed and elegance that you don't even notice it, even through live playback. There is zero cracks or artifacts. But yeah, both modes are extremely valuable. I dare you to try them out. One thing that I have to say is like that DNA flux basically is like a little bit like having like oscillator 3 and oscillator 4 without having the ability to control them or like, you know, wire them as the other 3 oscillators of Vectra. But this mode is quite expensive. Then the offline mutation mode is also expensive, but it happens in such a brief moment that it's not that bad. Plus, it's very well optimized, asynchronous, and so it's basically running super smooth on modern systems. This, for example, is running on an M1 Pro, so quite an old machine, and it's running quite well now. But those modes are, of course, not for free. So if you have like a 15-year-old laptop, for example, I couldn't guarantee like how well DNA flux would run. But yeah, that is a little bit about the mode. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Guys, you can get Vectra now for a reduced price for the launch, and also like it is still in early access. That's 75 euros for the standard version. The standard version gives you already a lot of modules. And then it's 149 for the deluxe version. that gives you the full flagship experience of Vectra. If you want to experience those systems, then there's only one place in the world where you can. That's audionerds.net/Vectra. audionerds.net/Vectra. That's audionerds with a Z.net/Vectra. Share this video with a friend if you want, and also leave a like, leave some feedback below. Do you enjoy those modes, or do you think maybe that there is something that could be done better in the design? Then let me know. And also leave any other feedback or just like a friendly comment. It's always appreciated. Subscribe, ring the bell, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace out.